So I woke up this morning on April 1st, 2025, at the time of this video's recording. And you have to be very careful of what you see on social media everywhere on this particular day because obviously it's April Fool's Day. So I'm going to approach this story with the biggest grain of salt, but I'm hoping that this is an accurate story and it's true because I have had my fair share of April Fool's Day jokes throughout the years. But this particular, I'm really hoping that is the one big ass coincidence. But anyway, I woke up this morning and one of the first wrestling stories that I see was that AEW's max numbers were revealed to be close to almost 500,000 every week during the broadcast of AEW Dynamite. And Dynamite on television, its TV ratings average around 600,000. And apparently, this was with the max numbers and the TV numbers all add up to a sum of 1.1 to 1.2 million viewers every week. Now, let's just say that this story is true. I, for one, watch AEW Dynamite almost every week. Not everything on the show I approve of. Is a lot of hit or miss stuff, but there's like a lot of stuff that I really appreciate about AEW Dynamite, even though I feel like there's a little bit more room to the imagination. And then there's some of the stuff I don't like. I felt like if they would have just executed it right, it would come out a lot better on television. So I'm expecting that, let's just say that these numbers are true and this the timing of the news being reported on this particular day was just one big ass coincidence. I think this is a W for All Elite Wrestling because for the longest they have been going down and numbers on television. I remember around this time last year, that's when we started to see the TV ratings start to fall severely. At the beginning of the year, they were like around 800,000, but then it just started gradually dropping to 600,000 to the point where they were like, I remember one episode of Dynamite was like 500,000, which was like, damn, that's crazy. So I'm hoping that these numbers are accurate and that many people every week actually are watching Dynamite. And I also gotta say this too. It just seems that, like I said, even though there's a lot of room of improvement, it seems that the shows are getting a little bit more better. I like that they're in smaller arenas to really, and like they're taking initiative to try to pack these arenas out, so it looks a lot better on TV, and the crowd noise will be spread out a lot more in these smaller arenas. And I'm hoping that this is the opportunity for AEW to actually take constructive criticism like on all the points of the TV product that they really honestly need to work on. Like I think that the stuff with Tony Storm, I think that shit's great. I think what they have going on with the Hurt Business and Max at the moment, I think that shit's dope. I'm really loving seeing Kenny Omega back on television, separated from the Elite and the Young Bucks. That's a story for another video, but it's just great seeing a healthy Kenny Omega back on television. And also, I want to point this out too from last week's episode of Dynamite where Kenny Omega said, I don't need any friends. I just have my cat and that's it. That nigga was spitting when he said that because fuck people. But anyway, I feel like AW is on the right track to try to get their TV product back to where it needs to be because people gotta understand, Raw wasn't built in the day. People are going to say what they want about the AEW product, but as long as the entire AEW roster is in unison about getting the TV product back to where it needs to be and raise wise, then I wouldn't give a fuck about what any fucking turd burglar or like any incel says on social media. If I know for a fact, I'm locking in because the WWE product is harder than ever at the moment, but we gotta realize that it took them a minute to get where they need to be. It started off with the Bloodline storyline, really helping WWE pick up traction during the COVID era, and then after the COVID era, it was a litany of things, but I felt like the Bloodline storyline was the storyline that they needed to really strap that rocket onto them. And AEW had their moments where they could have took a storyline and used it to really bring the stock of the company up. The Elite storyline, I felt like they had potential, but it just seems that every time AEW gets a damn good storyline, they don't execute it properly, as well as they leave a lot of room to imagination. I remember hearing about that storyline, why that one flopped, but because Tony Khan, even in kayfabe, didn't want anybody to think that there was someone running the company besides him. And the current BBC Dick Rider Click storyline, I felt like that started off strong, but unfortunately, we don't know. I don't know where the fuck they're going at with this storyline. And this is coming from a guy who thinks that I speak highly of John Mox, but he has been doing way too much lately, and in a bad way. Like that spot that he took with the spike bat, that was not a good idea. So, and honestly, I think their women's division is improving slightly. Not It's not there yet, but I just feel like, their women's division is taking great strides to improve itself. I think that Megan Bain character, goodness gracious, that woman is fine as shit, tall as hell, thick as fuck. Like when she first popped up on Dynamite, it was a couple months ago when they had the women's casino battle royale, I believe. And I'm like, goodness gracious, I guess they're going with the Wonder Woman Amazonian gimmick with her, and that's what they're doing with her is great. If we can look past what happened between her and Thunder Rosa, let's just look past that, man, because I think she has a great look. Her finisher is fucking fire. It looks like a F5, wherever, I forgot what they call it, but if you ask me what they're doing with Tony Starr and Megan Bain, I feel like they should have waited a little longer to have Megan Bain challenge Tony Storm for the title. But I really love the dynamic of Penelope Ford and Megan Bain, and the interaction between Athena and Mercedes Monet. I feel like that would be a great feud. Even though I don't have high hope for Athena coming out looking strong, it was great to seeing Athena again on AEW television when I saw this past weekend's Collision, which I thought was a great episode. It wasn't the best Collision, but it was something. You feel me? And then we got my girl Willow, man. Jesus Christ, that girl is fucking gorgeous. That girl could do no wrong. I love how Willow, she's fine as hell, but she will get hardcore if needed. I remember watching an episode of Collision. It wasn't last year. I think it was the year before that. It had to have been the year when not too long after Punk had got fired from AEW. There was a street fight with Willow and Chris. I can't remember the two chicks that they were fighting, but I remember seeing Willow get bloody. I love the fact that Willow can get hardcore when needed. But anyway, I feel like AEW needs to just lock in, get them a PR team, because like for these crazy ass backstage stories that I keep hearing about, all this drama backstage, and just put on a great wrestling product. Yeah, you can have your wrestling for the sickles, but I feel like you can do that and still try to grow your audience at the same damn time. Just kind of lower, just chill out with the sickle pandering. That's all. But I'm going to give it the benefit of doubt and say that these numbers with Max combined with their T ratings to be 1.2 million every week. I'm really hoping that these numbers are accurate, because we haven't came out, no one came out from the direct source to state that these numbers are cap or not. But anyway, that's my assessment of the whole situation. What do you guys think of the overall combined numbers of AEW on television and Max? And do you think that the product itself is improving, even if it's like a slow burn? Let me know in the comments. And what do you think that AEW needs to improve on? There's a lot that need to improve on, but what do you think specifically that they need to improve on? But I'm going to end the video with that. Get busy in the comment section. I'm NWO Kai, and this is Spectrum Media. Stay tuned, stay lit, and stay wavy. Peace.